In 1996, the world of wheelchair bodybuilding was taken by storm by a soft-spoken 34-year-old named Victor Konovalov. Only a novice bodybuilder entering his first competition, he managed to dethrone the reigning champion Ludwig Marchand, and he never looked back. He would go on to capture the crown in 97 and 98, making him the first three-peat champion in the history of the sport and the first ever wheelchair bodybuilder to turn pro. After a 6-year retirement from the sport, he decided to make yet another run in 2004, where he once again proved too tough for the reigning champion, 17-year-old Colt Winn, as he captured an unprecedented 4th overall crown. It's been 3 years since that milestone, and at the age of 45, Victor Konovalov has his sights set on yet another overall title to cap an illustrious career. Can he become the only 5-time overall champion in the sport, or will this be the year that he is stopped by the likes of his old nemesis, Ludwig Marchand or Colt Winn? The stage is set as the competition for the 2007 NPC National Wheelchair Bodybuilding Championship heats up with the biggest field of competitors the sport has ever seen. Hello everybody, I'm Paul Del Pizzo, and thank you so much for joining us on this first edition of DMI Beyond Sports, where we take a look at the world of disabilities and focus on the abilities that many disabled people choose to make part of their lives every day. Today we feature a sport that is fast becoming part of mainstream bodybuilding, the wheelchair division. In March of 2007, the National Physique Committee hosted its 14th annual event in West Palm Beach, Florida, and DMI's cameras were there to capture every moment. Over the years, the popularity of this event has steadily increased, but never before had this competition boasted a field of competitors of this size. But what made this year so unique is that 5 of the 6 International Federation of Bodybuilding Professionals were in attendance and competing for the overall title. One of those pros, 4-time NPC National Overall Champion Victor Konovalov, was the first paraplegic ever granted professional status by the IFBB and the first ever to receive an endorsement contract. Our first feature tonight is on the very man that set the standard of excellence in the sport of wheelchair bodybuilding, Victor Konovalov.
You know, I've been in this chair for a long time, and in many ways, it seems like second nature, but then, believe it or not, there's times where in the middle of the night, I'd be wide awake and I'll look over at my chair and it'll seem like it just happened. So, yeah, so in some ways, it's like second nature. In other ways, my desire to be back on my feet is so great that it almost seems strange to me to be in a chair. So maybe it has a lot to do with the fact that as a child growing up, I was involved in athletics for so long that that's just the way my mind is sort of wired. And so I'm not really comfortable being in a chair, but this is a situation that I'm in, and obviously I'm trying to make the best of it. So I'm just doing my best. I'll never forget the day because it was September 5th of 1983. It was Labor Day, and I was just 20 years old. And at the time, I was motocrossing. I was out practicing, and I was setting up my suspension. I went off of a jump, and I looped it. Looping is, in a sense, is when the bike starts to come back on you as I'm sailing through the air. Pushed the bike away from me. I landed on the ground very hard, and from the compression, it popped or shattered my 12th thoracic vertebrae. Bone chips went into my spinal cord, and that, of course, instantly paralyzed me. And so it was a very tragic day for me, a very traumatic day for me. So that's basically how I became paralyzed. I first got into weightlifting, bodybuilding a couple years after my injury. A friend of mine introduced me to the gym, took him up on the offer, instantly fell in love with it because I realized the great benefits from it. It was, in a sense, therapy for myself. About 5 or 6 years into it, made significant changes to my physique, and my friends from the gym encouraged me to do a show, and I kind of took them up on the offer eventually and went up prepared for it, got up on stage, did my thing, and recognized the adulation you got from the audience, and just fell in love with being acknowledged for all your hard work, and that was kind of the beginning of my bodybuilding career. I never in my life thought that I would become a 4-time national champion. It was the farthest thing from my mind. When I first started competing and actually went to my first national show, I was only expecting just to do well. I wasn't expecting even to win. So to win was quite a surprise for me. If you had asked me back then if I could potentially be a 4-time national champion, I probably would have laughed in your face and said, no way. There's so much good competition out there. So no, never expected it. It makes the prize even that much better, because I never ever expected it. I decided to go for a 5th title because I felt that tug again. The last time I was on stage competing was in 2004, and I tell you, competing is like an addiction. And when you do it, because it's so much work preparing for a competition, more so than just going to the gym and training. I mean, it's a part of dieting. It's about doing all the right things, and it's a long process. And so after you get done with the show, competition, you say, okay, I'm done for a while. But then after some time, you feel that that pull again, and it's calling you. It's saying, I want you again. I want you to be on stage competing again. And it's getting back to the fact that I've always been a high achiever, and I always want to challenge myself, and I always want to tell myself that I'm good enough, that I'm still capable of achieving great things for myself. So I decided to go after my 5th national title, just because I was starting to feel all these right things again. The synergy was just right, and it was calling me back. And so I thought, do it now. Do it now before you get too old, before you can't do it. So I'm going for it, and my aim is to win it for a 5th time. If what I'm doing can inspire others to go out there and to do something positive and great about their own lives, to get them off the couch and to really take charge about their health and fitness, then I know that I've done something really good for them, but I've also doing something, in a sense, good for me too, because I know that this is not just in vain, that I'm actually experiencing the fruits of my own labor, not only physically, but I'm also touching other people's lives almost in an indirect way. And that puts a great smile on my face, because I know that I've made a difference in the lives of others as well too.